This year's Foshan Hardware Expo has the bosses all in tears. There's literally nobody here. Forget about international visitors. Apart from us exhibitors, it's just the event staff tidying up. Holding the Foshan Hardware Expo like this without any concern for people is just heartless. If you don't have the skill, don't take on the task. We've spent so much to be here, and there's no audience. Where's your conscience? This is outright fraud. No more words needed, just give us our money back. Having no ability and still not willing to refund, that's just disgraceful. Anyone who doesn't refund is just the worst. Guys, it's so deserted here. You can't even spot a single person.
On November 9th, a remarkable protest erupted in an international convention center in Tanzhou, Foshan City, Guangdong, China, where hundreds of exhibitors demanded refunds from the organizers of the exhibition. Exhibitors at a hardware and electromechanical exhibition reported that the organizers had promised to invite tens of thousands of guests, professional visitors and exhibitors, anticipating no less than 100,000 visits during the exhibition. However, as evident from on-site videos, the actual foot traffic at the event was disappointingly low. Feeling deceived, exhibitors initiated the protest against the organizers for false advertising and demanded their rent back. Historically in China, exhibitions have always been a great opportunity to gather customers, information, and capital. For exhibitors, participating in exhibitions is an opportunity to showcase their products to a wider audience, network, and enhance brand recognition. Particularly for small and medium-sized enterprises in regions like Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Guangdong, participating in exhibitions has been an effective way to explore new markets. However, following the lifting of COVID-19 restrictions this year, China's economy experienced only a brief rebound before rapidly declining. The reopening of various industry exhibitions saw sparse attendance and numerous deceptive practices. This once effective marketing tool turned unprofitable, with multiple exhibition conflicts occurring in China in just 2023. For instance, from April 22nd to 24th, at a photovoltaic exhibition in Taiyuan, Shaanxi, a surprising number of elderly visitors were seen. It was later discovered that the organizers, aiming to deceive businesses into renting booths for revenue, had broadcast invitations in villages, resulting in this unexpected crowd. This absurd tactic, once exposed by exhibitors, led to a fierce verbal altercation. Days earlier, on April 19th, a large group of exhibitors protested in the corridors of the empty exhibition hall at the Shaoxing International Convention and Exhibition Center, the venue for Zhejiang's Construction Expo. Over 300 businesses from across the country had signed contracts with the exhibition organizers, with booth fees ranging from several thousand to over 100,000 yuan, several thousand to tens of thousands of dollars. On the opening day, exhibitors eagerly awaited visitors, only to be met with few actual customers and waves of fake visitors, mostly students. By the afternoon, the exhibition hall was nearly empty, with exhibitors outnumbering visitors. As a result, the exhibitors angrily demanded refunds, leading to physical altercations when the organizers refused. Public information indicates that the organizers had been preparing and promoting the event since 2022. However, in early April, they suddenly announced the relocation of the venue from Hangzhou to Shaoxing, reason being that the Asian Games Media Center would occupy the Hangzhou Exhibition Hall. Some netizens speculated that this sudden change of venue might be the root cause of the low attendance. However, this doesn't seem to be the case because the 133rd China Import and Export Fair, also known as the Canton Fair, was held in the same month without any venue changes and also experienced low attendance and subsequent protests. The Canton Fair, traditionally seen as an important indicator of China's foreign economic relations, opened on April 15th. The state-run People's Daily hastily reported it as the largest ever edition of the fair, with participant numbers exceeding previous years. However, many exhibitors reported receiving less than a tenth of the business cards they normally would, with Western participants notably absent. Videos from the venue showed a vast hall with very few attendees. A lady remarked that on the first day of previous exhibitions, it was the busiest and she would receive over 50 business cards. This year, despite the high cost of the booth, she received only a handful of cards, significantly less than in previous years, highlighting a clear disparity between investment and return. Intriguingly, on the 15th, netizens captured footage of long queues waiting to enter the fair, forming a stark contrast to the sparse crowds inside, leading to suspicions of the officials hiring people to queue up to create a false atmosphere. Some exhibitors, frustrated, spontaneously organized a protest inside the hall, chanting, "Refund our money." The Chinese Communist Party's policies suppressing private enterprises, specific industries, and foreign enterprises, coupled with 3 years of pandemic lockdowns, have caused irreversible damage to the socioeconomic fabric since the lifting of lockdowns in late 2022. Experts have cited the lack of attendance at these exhibitions as a prime example. Gao Shanwen, chief economist at Essence Securities, stated that China's economy is clearly suffering from a scarring effect of the pandemic. This includes concerns about future income uncertainty, apprehension about future income growth, and damage to balance sheets, resulting in continued weak consumer sentiment post-pandemic. The scarring effect not only impacts the willingness of Chinese residents to spend, but has also significantly affected global companies that rely on China's supply chain. In an effort to reduce dependency on the Chinese supply chain, foreign enterprises have been withdrawing their factories from China and seeking to establish new supply systems outside the country. This has led to unemployment among staff in foreign-funded factories and the closure of upstream and downstream businesses linked to these factories. At the same time, foreign enterprises are accelerating their exit from China, as evidenced by the reduced number of foreign visitors at this year's Canton Fair. On the other hand, many small and medium-sized enterprises have collapsed and are yet to recover. Offline retail shops located in malls continue to face high vacancy rates, and major domestic tech companies are laying off staff. Real estate enterprises are simultaneously experiencing collapses and layoffs. The youth unemployment rate is soaring. Local governments are facing debt crises, with public servants and teachers having their salaries withheld. Exports are weak, with lack of orders, leading to extended holidays in many factories. These instances exemplify the scarring effect theory proposed by experts, raising the question of how businesses could possibly invest under such circumstances. But not all expos are poorly attended. Recently, a post about white-collar freeloading at exhibitions, visiting without buying and grabbing freebies, resonated with many young people in Shenzhen. Gift exhibitions in Shenzhen offer not only food and drinks, but also free toys, bags, and cups, like a free shopping spree in a department store. Coffee exhibitions have also attracted coffee enthusiasts, allowing visitors to sample various brands and take some home, with the lucky ones even winning coffee machines. Car shows offer free car accessories, fans, and water bottles while showcasing cars and models. Netizens have commented that with time and energy, one can gain many desired items for free at these exhibitions, sometimes even with the chance of winning prizes. Nowadays, everyone in China has less money. People no longer compete about luxury items, but rather who finds the best value for money. Tightening the purse strings and becoming simple and practical have become the new consumption habits of the Chinese people. During China's shopping festival Double 11, on November 11th, mainland media reports indicate a year-over-year decline in interest. Data shows that this year's search volume for the topic hit a freezing point, a 60% decrease from the same period last year. In 2019, Double 11 related topics averaged 464 minutes on Weibo's hot search list, totaling nearly 8 hours, but this year it halved to less than 3 hours, with the hottest topic being about Double 11's decline. Remarkably, 63% of netizens even believe that Double 11 is no longer necessary, having lost its original meaning. A media-initiated Double 11th consumption intention survey showed that even consumers with specific purchasing goals are primarily concerned with finding the best deals, reaching up to 80% for respondents under 25 or recent university graduates. This shows that apart from a reduction in consumption, the high unemployment rate among Chinese youth has led them to view spending more rationally. Recently, a topic trended on Weibo, suggesting that young people now only shop in bargain basements at the mall. The common sentiment is that high-end restaurants and brand-name stores located upstairs no longer attract young people. A month ago, the topic, "Share something that proves you've downgraded your consumption," suddenly trended on Weibo and other social media platforms. On the social media site Douban, the group called "Did You Downgrade Your Consumption Today?" has over 360,000 members. This consumption downgrading, coupled with intense competition, or involution, across industries, continues to contribute to the persistent economic downturn and high unemployment rate in China. Economist Xi Ling stated that the current consumption downgrade in China is related to the poor economic environment and a change in consumer mindset. Xi Ling elaborated that Chinese people are exhausted by the government's frequent policy changes and arbitrary financial manipulations. The question raised is, would consumers feel comfortable spending under such conditions? Many are now more inclined to save their money for emergencies rather than spend it in advance. The Double 11 Shopping Festival is a barometer of Chinese consumer spending power, and its lackluster performance signals a new norm in China's economic development. Xi Ling openly expressed that the once mythical purchasing power of Chinese consumers has virtually vanished. Further data indicates that the recent National Day Golden Week did not witness the expected boom of revenge travel and spending postulated by the Chinese Communist Party. Although the total number of domestic trips during the 8-day holiday increased by 5.6% compared to 2019, the daily average tourism revenue grew by only 1.5%. Considering the price inflation over the years, actual tourism spending has likely declined. Despite an increase in tourist flow, there was no corresponding rise in quantity and price. The popularity of reverse tourism to third and fourth tier cities and exploring urban markets indicates a pursuit of low-cost travel experiences. Official data released by the Chinese government show that the national retail sales of consumer goods briefly rebounded from January to May this year after the end of the zero-COVID policy. However, growth has significantly slowed since then, still not reaching pre-pandemic levels. Data from China's Ministry of Culture and Tourism also reveal that during the Dragon Boat Festival in June, domestic tourist spending increased by 8% compared to the same period last year during the zero-COVID era, but decreased by 14% compared to the same period in 2019 before the pandemic. Considering the government's tendency to beautify unfavorable data, the general consensus is that the public's actual spending power is much weaker than these figures suggest, further highlighting China's economic slump. Surprisingly, in response to this predicament, the measures adopted by the Chinese Communist authorities have been to raise prices. According to the official WeChat account of the People's Bank of China, the Monetary Policy Committee emphasized in its third quarter meeting on September 25, 2023, the need to intensify the implementation of monetary policy, mentioning the promotion of a low-level rise in prices to maintain them at a reasonable level. This approach has been questioned by the public. Instead of fundamentally addressing the issue of reduced income and enhancing employment rates to improve spending power and confidence in the future, the government is taking measures to promote price increases. This raises the question, is the intention to stimulate or suppress consumption? On the one hand, there is an intentional push to increase prices, and on the other, a deliberate harvesting of the public's resources, with the common people always bearing the brunt. The collapse of the economy might not be a distant reality. Soon, people won't be talking about low attendance at expos because the expos themselves might shut down.